Hey, what's up, everybody? This your man James, and you are watching the I Just Think Different podcast, and we here live right now. We here live once again. This is James, and you are watching the I Just Think Different podcast, and we are here live with my man Montell Carr. You know what I'm saying? Montell Carr is in the building. Everybody, you feel me? And what we doing today, man, is we talking about money, power, and credit. I know people like to say money, power, respect, but today it's all about money, power, and credit. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have Montell right here tell you and tell us about, the importance of credit and the importance of being financially stable. So Montell, go ahead and introduce yourself, let the people know who you are, and then we just go get right into it. Once again, you watching the I Just Think Different podcast, and we here with Montell Carr. Go ahead, man.
Yes, hello everyone. Again, my name is Montell Carr. I'm originally born and raised from Flint, Michigan. A kid that grew up with big dreams, wanted to impact and shock the world, and looking to impact lives, man. I want to talk to some people that's hungry and want to see something different. We at the end of the year, and I know most people already made their resolutions. And yeah, I want to insist people, man, to cross over the right way because we've been into a new year.
Yeah. So all right. So with that being said, man, what do you feel is most important about being financially stable? Let's get right into that.
Most importantly, it's the time, because most people, they utilize a lot of time anyway, and time is one of the greatest commodities. I tell people that God has ever given us, and I see a lot of people utilize their time wrongly. Since time is coming whether we're ready or not. So time is a big factor. Most in today's world, you hear people who they go to work every day, but they trade time for dollars. So they go in to get the money, but they losing a lot of time on what? On family, on things that's important, and even not even having time for their own dreams, and let alone, so their health is shot because they're too busy trying to work, trying to make ends that never meet. And consequently, they start having health problems. So instead of investing in their first wealth, which is their health, they eat fast food or things that's convenient. So it's not really helping them. It's just making it convenient, and they just go down here. So time is a big factor when it comes to financial freedom. Like, if you don't have the time to really do the things that you were meant and born to do here, then you're not really free. Like, there's a saying in America that you're not free in America until you're financially free. And financial freedom comes with being able to have a wealth of time to be able to not only give back, but to give yourself in such a way to where you can live in your purpose. Not saying that the job is bad. I'm just saying that it has ways of restricting you and getting you to where you need to be.
Yeah. So what do you suggest, and we get around that? Like, how do we get around that?
Well, the first thing I suggest is that whatever you're passionate about, set some time aside to invest in that. There's a saying, don't spend your whole life doing things that you don't love. At least do what you love part-time until you're able to do it full-time. I hear people say all the time, well, I don't have time. No, we all have, successful people and unsuccessful people all have the same amount of time in the day. It's called 24 hours. It's what you do with your time and how you evaluate your time that determines the outcome as well. Like, you don't expect your phone to have a certain type of output of being charged and acting right if you hadn't input it into the socket. You don't. Why? And so same with life. Like, whatever you're inputting into is going to be the outputting of what it is you're trying to do. And so spend time doing the things that you love, at least part-time, until you have to do it full-time. That may be you desire to be a writer. You want to write and be a New York bestseller, you have to set time to actually write. You want to learn what some of those writers did and what's their work ethic. You want to be a speaker, how often do you speak? You want to do music, how often do you do music? What do you know about music? And what do you want to be different? And how do you want to be separated out of the music? So invest some time, whether it may be an hour, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Sometimes it's better than no time. A lot of people think that they're actually doing something when they just actually being active but not really productive. So the
Mm.
productive thing is to invest in time that will get you production in such a way to where it gets you a lot further.
And how much time of that 24 hours should you be investing in your own craft?
That's a good question. Uh, with me, being a man, saying who don't work a job, some full-time entrepreneur business, I invest most of my days. I set because I work out too, saying then try to spend time with my kids and then business. So I get myself 8, 8, 8, like 8. I got time to 8 hours in my business. 8 hours spending time with my family, 8 hours working out, and sometimes I mix it up, but it's a good healthy balance. You know what I'm saying? But people who work jobs that's listening and watching this later, if you work 10-hour, 12-hour days, that's understandable. When you get out of work, you may very well maybe have, let's say, well, you work 12-hour days, so you got another 12 hours. You probably sleepy, shower, gotta eat. I would say start off with like maybe 30 minutes. That's a lunchtime for most people. If you can give somebody else's uh, plan for working for them 30 minutes of your time on your lunch, why can't you get 30 minutes to yourself as well
Mm.
too? So you want to pay yourself back. You don't just pay yourself back with this money. You need to pay yourself back with time. Because if you never be willing to invest time to build you, you will always invest time to build other people's dream, or you'll become a battery charging somebody else's dream.
Mm. So what's so bad about, being in charge to, somebody else's dream versus creating your own dream and your own outcome? We all need each other to, build each other. So what's so wrong about me putting in effort and making sure you charged up versus charging myself?
Nothing at all. What I mean by building somebody else's dream is that that's your only intent to actually work for somebody else, but you never seemingly make time for your own self. I believe in the law of reciprocity. What you sow, you're gonna reap. Yes, you'll be blessed, but if your whole objective is to work to help somebody else out, that's one aspect. But then when it comes to your dream and you have excuses as to why you can't expect to get ahead in life of time and things you wasn't willing to invest in. So it's like a balance. Like you can help people out, but what about the healthy side where you got to start helping yourself out? See, many people have too much of either one. They're doing too much of themselves, where they become selfish, and then they're doing too less of themselves by giving more time to something else, but not being true to themselves. So consequently, they're doing right things for other people, but never see the results of what it is they want. It's because they didn't take the time out to actually invest in their craft too, as well. For instance, I can help you, sir, plant and build your garden, and you can have success. But likewise, if I wanted the garden too, just because I helped you build yours does not mean mine is going to automatically be built. I still have to set time to still do that. So it has to be a healthy balance on both ends. I'm
Mm.
saying don't live your whole life doing too much of anything, because they say too much of anything is not good for you. And so if you're going to copy somebody, copy the right cat.
So everything is a healthy balance.
Yes.
Everything is a balance and everything comes in moderation. So with that being said, money, power, respect, as we say in money, power, credit. But what do you think is the key element in that order of money, power, credit?
The key element in all three of them, the key element number one is the right mindset and the decisions you make. See, because whether you make a decision or not, you still making the decision. And if you don't take control of what it is you really want to see, even in those areas right there or anything in your life, somebody else or life will make it for you. When they talk about money, power, and respect, these are things that everybody want, everybody need. But seemingly, how is it that some people are successful in these areas and some people are not? It's not that other people are not better than them. It's just that they're applying principles that either one has not been exposed to or they have been exposed to it, but they slept on it, thinking that because time has passed or they gotten older, that seemingly it was just going to line up. It doesn't work that way. So it's about decision and the right mindset. Most people, when it comes to the topic called money, their mindset of money is up, time to go shopping, right? Time to go get some new Jordans, time to go get a car. Every funny infomercial they see with zero down, no money, no problem. They jumping. But what they don't tell you is that you're gonna still have to make up that in the interest. They call it interest for a reason. You know why? because it's in their best interest that you do something foolish so they can make money off you. That's why I call it interest income.
Mm.
And so we need to educate ourselves financially with our children as well, the right mindset, teaching our kids and educating our kids on how money is. Money is simply a tool. Money can be a great servant to you, but it's a horrible master. So if your way of money is that I have to work for it, you're in trouble. You see, this pandemic has woke a lot of people up. Some people still sleeping or comatose. It's time to do something different. While there's many people amongst this pandemic, sir, while everything look all catastrophic and horrific, people are getting wealthy, building more resistant income, while other people are still losing. Why is that? It's because of information and access to what they have and how they think. That's all it is different. So educate yourself financially as far as money wise. When it comes to power, that's a kind of a tricky thing because most people think power is that I can control things. Power really is actually building yourself up in a way to where you can become influential and influence other people, and they duplicate the same principle. That's real power. It ain't just I can control thing. It's about really how can you become a 1% better yourself, and how can you duplicate yourself to impact other people who have dreams as well. It's about because success love duplication. When it comes to credit, this is one of the things that we all are going to face and we never going to get around, because when your credit is not right, you're going to pay high interest rates on houses and cars. And it makes people sad when they go in there and try to apply for a loan. They can't get anything because their credit messed up. Yes, cash is king, but the importance of leveraging credit can buy you the equivalent of $100,000 to $1 million of power. It can. And once you learn about credit, you can leverage that and not only educate people, but you can use to your advantage to get the best homes, the best cars, and the lowest interest rates as well, and still live your life while being educated. See, what wealthy people do is that they don't use credit to stay in debt. They use credit to build assets. And then as they build the asset, they hire other people to run their company. And then people who work for people, tax dollars pay back the debt. That's what they do. So they leverage that as well. So that's what those elements deal with that. Like I said, it's about mindset. It's about right decisions.
I like that, man. Once again, you're watching the I Just Think Different podcast, and we're here with Montell. He's talking about financial stability and financial gain and credit. So, next question I'm gonna sit up here and ask is directly pertains to credit. Now, say I'm a teenager, you know, 16, 17, going into 18. I'm finally adult. I have no credit. I have nothing built. How can I use that to actually start to build me some credit versus being somebody that's, 27 years old with damaged credit? You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
explain to me how is it that I can build me some credit?
Okay, so that's good. Well, like you say, most people at those ages, by the time they're 18, they've already fell for the up fake. I tell people, don't go for the up fake. I mean, they're at half court. Don't go for the up fake. You know what I'm saying? Go for the up fake because, in high school, typically at 18, they already offering us credit cards already. And we believe in the hype and the illusion because, credit cards, and they give you a certain amount and you're going crazy. But they don't educate you on what you don't know is that when you have a credit card, typically, when you're using credit card, you don't want to use more than 30% of that. If you do, you're going to hurt yourself. And also, you want to depend on what credit cards, like Capital One and Premier are some of the worst because it demands immediate interest and high pay. And there's no mercy rule on it. So they automatically setting you up for the kill, to actually get you in debt. And so for somebody who don't have that as well, I recommend you connect with mentors or people who are in the debt industry so they can educate you on it. Get with somebody who can educate you, not somebody just gonna just give you a car and say you need some debt, because having no credit is still not good. And of course, bad credit is bad as well. So you want to connect with a mentor that will educate you, not just give you a car and tell you, okay, you need to go establish some credit. So that way, when you utilize the credit, you can establish good credit to where now you already being educated to where now, if you can purchase a house, you'll be educated on how to do it with credit. Most people are not purchased on that. They just I want to get a house, but they're not educated on how to use credit, and they're not messing their credit up as well. So you want to get with a mentor first, so you can learn and be educated about credit first before you actually even try to establish credit. Schools and everybody else don't teach that. My company, we teach that. We teach financial education and we teach credit education on how to educate you on how to utilize credit cards what to look for when you're looking for a house and a car, and how to build your credit up in such a way to where you can keep your credit score at a certain level where you want to. And if you got a credit card, don't use more than 30%.
Mm. So say I don't have a mentor and I don't know nothing about a mentor and I got no credit and my spouse or partner has bad credit. What's the difference between good credit? What's the difference between no credit and bad credit?
That's a good question. Typically, when you go into a car dealership, sir, or look for a house, what do they typically ask for? They ask for your credit, and they ask for what history you got. Why? Because 9 out of 10, they're not expecting most people to have cash, even though cash is king. They ask for your credit. So when you don't have credit, what happens is that you already in the negative, because with them, they need some type of credit, because your credit is determined how much they can work with you with, and also it's tied into their commission as well too. You know what I'm saying? So somebody want to know, you know what I'm saying, how much. And so they will already lock you in into, just enough to where you'll be able to handle it, but also for they can have a good, return on investment as well too. So they already locking you into such a way to where, okay, we're gonna start you off at this amount so you can establish credit. But the result of that is just paying your bill alone is not gonna really help you. It's more to it than that as well. So that's one aspect of it. Another aspect of it, having bad credit, is you have some credit, but the only problem is you're gonna pay extremely high interest rates by default. You know what I'm saying? By default. With no credit, they'll give you a grace. You kind of get a grace. They give you just enough to where they can make a nice percentage, but for you to start us to see how you do with that. But even with that, not knowing about it, typically in the world of technology now, you can research a lot of stuff to find out about stuff like that. I would still research, or I would ask them questions about it. You'd be surprised what they tell you. You ask them, okay, how did you get this? And how did you attain this? They'll tell you. But most people don't ask questions, so they just so quick to go in there and just purchase and be consumer minded, not knowing that you actually think you're getting an asset when you got liability. Because assets keep money in your pocket, liabilities take money out of your pocket. So
yeah. So tell me the importance of having a good credit score. What's the big thing about credit score? You got 750, 800, 450, 500. Tell me the difference between these scores and why it's important.
I love it. Having great credit is very important because, as I said, it gives you the purchasing power of equivalent to 100,000 or a million in cash. Having a good credit, you can go in there and say, I want this kind of car, your favorite car. So you wouldn't put down something? No, just run my credit. They run your credit. You got a perfect 850 or 700, something like that. You can walk out there with zero down, nothing. And the lowest interest rates to where, watch this, you can pay it no problem. And at any given time, once you establish a certain amount, you can finish paying the rest of it off. And then you utilize that and leverage that again. But when you don't have that, you don't have that ability. Now, unless people say, well, I got cash. Well, yeah, if you got cash, that's one thing, but you're still not building credit that way. You know what I'm saying? But when you got a nice credit score, you get the right interest rates on homes, the lowest ones. But when your credit score is super low, high interest rates, which means that you're going to pay 3 times more of the house than what it appraised for, because the interest alone is more than what the house appraised for. So people, I'm doing it to get equity. Well, if it takes you twice as much to pay the house off in equity, I don't need your equity. I take cash. That may way where I put the money all back in my pocket because it's my money. So the power of having impeccable credit is very key, because it gives you the ability to get the car you want and be able to afford to actually pay it off and pay the payments on it as well, versus the highest. Because most people, they pay high interest notes and car notes to try to look good, but they can't really afford it. If you simply educate yourself and get your credit right, you won't have to struggle to do that.
So let me ask you this. So if I'm working at where I'm working at don't matter. Let's say I'm bringing home $500 a week. I bring home $500 a week. My rent is, I don't know, let's say my rent is $1,000, right? So, and I got to eat and I got a car note. So explain to me, with an income of $500 a week that I'm bringing in, single person, Let's say I got a kid too. All right. So I got a kid, I'm single, and I got my own I'm renting. I don't have a house, but I'm renting. And I got a car note. All right. Explain to me, how can I be financially stable or grow my finances working off this $500
Good
every
question.
week?
Good question. I love the question, man. So $500, single person, your rent is $1,000. You got to eat still, all the above. Okay. First thing first is this. You got to ask yourself this: how much out of that you make in a week can you pay yourself immediately? Because what wealthy-minded people do is they think to pay themselves first and then pay bills later. Watch this. So
So
you want to
you
put
want
so if you want to put aside something, find out what you can put aside. If that's like $10 to $20, that's good. Put that aside, because you'll find that will add up. And so what happens is you will have a budget to where it adds up to where you'll find you will have a budget for a surplus instead of a deficiency, to where you will have extra money to be able to take care of things you need each week, and still the money you still able to keep utilize to still eat. Because what happened is, in other words, what I'm saying is, sir, is that you can't live off the whole dollar. You have to put away a percentage of it, whatever that may be, whether it's $5, $10, or $1 or $2. You got to put away something and continue to do that, and make it a goal of how long you want to do that. You got to have a plan that what do you want to have saved up too. Most people don't think about that, because soon we get paid, it's time to go spend, time to go eat and blow it. So you got to change your perspective and pay yourself first. Put away what you can put away. Take care of what you need to take care of right then. Eat, of course, and whatever bills you can pay right then, knock it out. But put something away. If you get paid each month, because what happens is it'll start to add up. It started to add up. Before you know it, you would not only be able to have the money to take care of your bills, but you will have a lot more to still do things. The problem is people don't pay themselves because they live off the whole dollar. If you love the whole dollar, for instance, if your bills are a total of, let's say, $2,000, right? And let's say you making 2,500 a month. Typically, you got an extra $500, saying leeway to actually have to do something with, right? You don't want to live off the whole 2,500. You want to be able to put away that 500 to do some other stuff as well. Why? For not only emergencies, but also to be able to invest and to do other things with. But people don't think like that. I think the thing is, we live off the whole dollar, and that's why we set ourselves up. You got to put away stuff.
Now, what if I'm in a situation where I can't put nothing away? Like I said, if I'm making $500 a week, it's 4 weeks in a month. That is $2,000.
Right.
Strapped all the way to the 2,000. Now you saying put a little bit aside. You say put 10 aside. If I put $10 aside every week for a whole year, that's only $480 I got. I gotta wait, I don't know, 6-7 years before I can even be financially stable at this point, if I'm living in that aspect. So that means I gotta go out here and get another job, or I got to figure out some type of hustle which is going to fast gain me access to be able to do things that I want to do. But see, the thing is, through all financial things, you have to be patient. You ain't gonna get this right now type of money.
Right.
If you're patient with it, then it'll work out. But if you're trying to get something right now, it's not gonna happen. So elaborate on that.
Yes, exactly. As I said earlier, I like how you said that. I said, then you have about this amount. You got to ask yourself first. Yes, eating is important, but when you first get the money, what's really key value at that moment? Is it possible that a lot of our eating habits are eating out or overly spending, and food we really don't need? We just doing it because we want it. Could we set aside, make more lunches, or we have some family that's like that, maybe see how we can maybe go family and eat there, so that way we can reserve a little more. You see what I'm saying? There's always ways around it, because a lot of times we think money time up, it's time to go do something. When we get money, we thinking about our desires, but not counting the bigger picture of what's going to be at stake at the end of the month. It's like this. So really, it's about reevaluating what's important at that very moment. Yes, eating is important, but also have make sure your bills are paid too on time. Because again, when you don't pay your bills on time, that also too then puts your credit in jeopardy as well too. So it's about, okay, I'm hungry, but I'm gonna create a budget. to eat, if I want to go out to eat, watch this. I'm only creating, let's say, about $25. That's my budget to go out to eat with. So to go places. Well, that can be whether fast food or whatever. But after you utilize that, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta set boundaries. This other half, I'm gonna put, let's see, maybe this towards the rent, and then this right here is going towards the phone. Put some aside for different reasons. And then if you only can have in your pocket like maybe 25, 30 bucks after all that, so be it. Got to learn how to live off little. Sometimes we got to delay gratification in order to get what it is we want. First, learn how to create the lifestyle that you really want and become, so that way you can have that.
What I'm getting out of that, essentially, is learning how to sacrifice and have discipline.
Yes.
Because once you got those two, I mean, that's essentially just everything you're saying. Like, I'm not gonna go out right now because, even though, I want to go get me some food, peanut butter and jelly or ramen just might be sufficient right now. And I don't have to go out to McDonald's or wherever. I don't have to get, XYZ type of clothes. I can just sit back and wait till the next check come on and re-up.
Yeah.
So here's a bigger question. With the money that I got coming in, how do I flip my money?
Flip your money to do what though?
How do I take this $500 and make it $1,000, $600, $700, $800?
Good question. First thing first, before I would give a solution on what to do, I would say we need to learn about money, financial literacy. You need to learn how money works first. You get to have the right mindset, because watch this. You can give a person the opportunity to say, you can do this in real estate. You can do this in a business or in investing. But if they don't have the mindset or haven't learned anything about real estate on themselves or what other people are doing, they will still blow the money. So it's not just about having the money, it's about having the right mindset. So I would say first, educate yourself, read books. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's a great book I recommend. It talks about his poor father and his rich father, which was his friend's father. They taught him two different aspects of money, and how one believed that you have to work hard for it, the other believed that you put money to work for you as well. Because once you learn how money works, then opportunities become simple, sir, and you're able to invest in a way where you're able to do that. Money becomes easy to make. That's really what it is. Like, because it's not just about put me on an opportunity. If you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to get in the first, you're going to still blow it. So you can put $1 million in the hands of a poor-minded person, they'll still lose it because their thought process is poor. So you need to educate yourself first on how to do that, so that way you're able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And whatever arena that is, whether it's a business, whether it's investing, whether it's just your online store or clothing line or shoe line, whatever it is, you need financial literacy, because anybody can make money, but who can make a difference? If you want to make compound interest in the big money like the ultra rich do, you're going to have to learn, educate yourself about money that they don't teach us in school. And you can get that through books and through mentors. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, T. Harv Eker. I recommend these books as well. Cash Flow Quadrant, Robert Kiyosaki. Talk about the different quadrants that most people are in. The E, the B, the I, and the S. And why certain people make more money and have certain tax brackets while the other ones don't. That right there, I guarantee you, sir, will educate you and unlock things you'd say, dang, all this time, man, if I had known it was right in front of me, I can do this. No, that's what happened to me. I was like, man, if I had known this, I could have been made a killer. I'm like, it really is in the mindset. It really is. It's in the education.
So let me ask you this. When you had a 9 to 5, you was working on 9 to 5, at what point did you say, you know what, I got to stop this 9 to 5. I got to go get my own. But see, here's the thing. Now, when I go get my own, I'm an entrepreneur at this point. So if I'm an entrepreneur, that means I got to find ways to make means. So now it ain't no guaranteed money coming in. So I got to make things happen. So explain that transition from going to a 9 to 5 to, stepping out there to actually take the sacrifice to be able to make a living on your own without depending on working for somebody else.
Okay. Well, again, of course, I did that already. I said I'm full-time, don't do it. I say this. I've always knew that working for somebody was never my thing. I hated working for people because my job kept me too long, paid me too little, and I worked too much to stay there. And so with that being said, what I did was I've always kept my dreams before me. So what I would do is, with the money I was making when I was working the 9 to 5, I would set aside some things because I had goals in mind, because I already had the mindset. But I set aside some things to where when I did make my transition, I'll have a leeway to still be able to take care of stuff while still building at the same time. So when you want to make that transition, make sure you're putting it away, because you still got to live too. While you're doing putting away, so you can have a little leeway. Don't just make the little big leap unless you got a strategic plan of a guarantee right away, which most people don't as well. That's what I did. I set aside money while I was working because I knew I had a goal. And when I made that transition, I had a cushion to where I can still have my bills paid up to at least, you want to set aside when you trade the transition, where you can pay your bills at least up 3 months. So that way it gives you some buying time. So where now you can still work towards your craft as well. But set aside some money for that. You set aside money, at least have your bills paid up for 3 months, but also some money that you put aside for. So when that you do that, you can actually invest and work towards that to try to, flip that and try to build on that residual income on whatever it is you want to do. That's the plan you want to do. Don't just, I curve turkey quit, and you still got to live though. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're a Bill Gates, that with the mindset already that he had, like whatever, I recommend don't do that. I recommend putting aside, but at the same time, educating yourself too. That's what I did. I've always held on to my dreams because I knew that working for somebody was never my thing. I was a good worker because my mother and father had good work. They taught me good work ethic, but I knew my work ethic was geared towards the business arena. I just never thought nobody was supposed to be over me. I always thought that I was supposed to be my own boss because I can have more time back so I can impact more people.
So once again, this is the I Just Think Different podcast, and we're here live with Montell Carr. He's sitting here talking about financial gain and financial stability and credit, and how that affects our lives and how we can get better and make more money. But to wrap some of this up, essentially, you got to have a sacrifice. You got to make a goal, and you got to educate yourself on the things that you want to do. So really, it's plan and execute.
Yep.
You got to know what you want to do, and you got to write that down, and you got to move towards that and be disciplined on it.
Yep.
And once you do those things, everything else will come around to where it's supposed to be. And you got to have credit because, if you got too much cash, you go somewhere with $10,000 cash, they go flag you.
Yep.
Dropping too much money, they flag you. So now you got to report. So now the IRS on you. You don't want the IRS on you just knocking at your door. So now you got to figure out how to get the credit and move that around. So I look at credit. Let's take it out the financial part for a second. Credit is essential to trust, right? So what am I trusting you with? See, I come to you, I say, hey man, let me borrow your car. All right. Now, you've never seen me drive, but I got a driver's license. So you say, you know what, I'll let him use my car. I get in your car, bring it back, full tank of gas, everything cool. When you gave me the car, you had an empty tank. So now that I kept your car in good condition, I filled up the gas tank and nothing was wrong, the next time I ask you to use your car, you more likely to let me use it versus not, because we build some rapport.
Yes.
Now the same scenario happens. I crash your car or accident happened, which ain't got nothing to do with me because accidents happen. All right. I didn't fill your gas tank up. I left it worse than what it was on. And I left trash and stuff in your car. You more not likely to let me use something because now, you know what? I gave you opportunity, and to say you didn't respect it well. You took advantage of what was given to you. So what I'm saying is, so if credit people say, you know what, we give you $1,000 line of credit, and you take this, you run on by all Jordans and PlayStations, and now you done maxed it out. It's the same day we gave it to you. Say, you know what? Nah, we ain't gonna give him $2,000 because he gonna turn around and do the same thing. But however, what I'm saying is, even though I maxed 1,000 out, what if next week I paid 1,000 off? So you judge on the level of, you know what I'm saying, how much you using versus not getting used. So even though you giving me something, I'm allowed to use it, but I'm only allowed to use it based on your time instead of being able to use it when I want to. And then if I'm not using it the way you think I should, it's going to be held against me to prohibit me from getting through the doors that could be open for me if my credit was higher. But in order for my credit to get higher, you got to give me a little bit more for my credit to get higher. Because if I just stay on the same level, you give me the credit, I never use it, it's just gonna stay the same. So at
Right.
some point I gotta use it, but then I gotta make sure it's in a certain bracket so I don't go over it. But if I go over the bracket, then you saying, are you a risk? But how am I a risk if I still got the money and I'm making money and I'm making payments on it? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything could happen. This year it was a perfect example of all of that
Right.
because everybody's in the same boat. So now all the credit that you gave me ain't nobody paying their bills. So now what? So everybody credit messed up. So do the credit people be like, you know what? We not gonna give anybody anything at this point. You know what I'm saying? So how do we get around things like that where we're just foolishly messing up our credit and buying reckless things instead of getting things that we should? I guess a better question is, how do I take my credit and allow my credit to work for me versus me damaging my credit, buying things that really don't matter?
Good question. First thing first is this: a lot of times, companies will tell you that you at risk because they want it on their terms because they already got a plan on how much money they want to make off you with the interest. First and foremost, for my company, we have not only your best interest, but we educate you on how you can use it to benefit yourself, and we pretty much ask you, what goal do you have in mind? We ask things like, why do you want credit repair? Is it to buy a house, a car, or in general? What's your motive as to why? Okay, uh, if you get this amount, if you had this amount of credit line, what would you do with it? You know, for asking, like asking what you do with it, what you want, and then we don't take away from you doing what you want to do with it, but we just give you nuggets to when you do it, you can still win while you're still doing what you want. Other companies, you at risk because they don't care about what you want to do with it. They care about how they want you to do it so they can make a certain amount of interest off you because you already in the negative with them already because they've already given you a credit card with the highest interest rates. Chances are they know you're not educated. So they're already setting you up for the kill because they ended to actually win. They don't care none of us about your future. What we different as we invest in the person. We care about what it is they want, and we keep them in the loop or educate them, but yet still make them feel like they can still do what they want and not take away from what the person's uniqueness is and what they want to do as well. So the way around that is you ask more questions to whoever you deal with, so you can have a crystal clear. Don't let them give you subliminal messages. Make them talk literally to you. Sometimes you ask the right question, ask no questions, sir, you'll find out a person's heart and agenda. And then from there, you'll know how to remove her. And you'll know who to connect with so that way who had your best interest and who don't. See, we don't ask no question. We take the of fake because they in the profession and they say all this fancy terminology that they mean well, but they didn't say something so slick and subliminal. You know, so they just said, I'm gonna kill you in another language, and because it sounds real good, you like, oh, that's, you know what I'm saying, instead of asking the question. So
Yeah.
you want to ask more questions.
So what's the name of the company and where can the people find the company?
United Credit Education Department Service. And so what we do is that I have my site, and it's also called Financial Education Services too, as well, where we teach on the money aspect as well as the business aspect. And so you can find my site right here. I can give it out to those who are interested in credit repair and also being educated. My website is www.fes.net/mcar 7. With the other website is www.ucespp.net/mcar 7. So United Credit Educational Service and Financial Educational Service is the name of our company.
Nice, man. So how long you been with the company?
Man, I've been with the company for almost a year. You know, I've been in business for a while, but this company right here is by far incredible, man. I learned a lot, and when I got the opportunity to actually partner with some friend of mine, man, I took the opportunity because it just made sense to me. Because I knew that my money is funny and my change was strange, like most people, and so I knew that in the times we're in right now, the pandemic, people are always looking to make additional income. And credit. People always want to look to buy a house or upgrade or get a new car. And so I jumped in, and it's incredible because you have people who will walk with you and mentor you and teach you the necessary steps and principles on how to dominate the credit arena, as well how to build a business and help other people as well and benefit the profits of it as well. And we have other services to leverage. We also teach now, it's not just about credit, it's more than just credit. We educate, we also offer a will and trust that most people don't even know and they don't even have. We also offer life insurance, credit monitoring. Most people will go spend a flat rate with somebody else with a lot of money, but they ain't doing it with spending you. We keep you in the loop of it as well. We give you a roadmap on each month on what we want you to do up to a year to trust us and follow us. And you have access to us 100% and to our corporate office, which is out of Michigan as well. So it's a lot of different things. We educate you on a lot of different things, which is incredible. Identity theft, we got that kind of protection. People getting their identity stolen with the snap of a finger. We got that service in place where you can have that protected, all your social media, your banks, everything. How many people offer that? Oh, they don't, because they don't care about that. I'm saying we offer that as well. So it's bigger than just credit. We're giving you the whole 9 yards of things that people are going to need and going to come in contact with anyway.
Once again, you listening to the I Just Think Different podcast, and we're here live with Montell Carr. And anybody that's watching this live right now, feel free to drop any questions, or if you got anything that you want to know, feel free to drop that in or leave comments. Like, subscribe, follow. And we got a question right here. Is this for any state?
Yes, it's worldwide. Anywhere we can help anybody. Anywhere we all over in the world.
And see me that again, so I can put that up here in the link.
What, my website?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. So I'll type that right in. All right, I'm ready.
www.
Yep.
Dot.
Mm-hmm.
myfes. Dot. net/MCARR number 7. That's one of the websites. The other website is for customers, potential customers who wants to get their credit together. That site right there, you see right there, is for potentials who's looking to make additional income and to be educated on credit and have the opportunity to actually partner with our firm as a franchisee as well too. But there's a process for that too. The other website is www.ucespp.net/mcar7.
That's it right there.
Yep.
All right, so we got everything in there. Yeah, man. So anything you want to add? Anything more
Yes,
you got to say?
Yes, I do. First, I want to thank everybody who's watching, first and foremost. And two, I really want people to actually, who's watching, to really search your own heart and self-examine yourself and ask yourself, what is it that you want in life that you can't live or sleep? What is it in your life that you want to use to impact people's lives? Most importantly, we know that most people who are watching have some type of financial problems, but also credit. If that's you, I encourage you to actually take a step, because if you don't do nothing different, you won't have anything different. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. If you want different, you have to do different. And if you have the tools and the nuggets in place to actually change your life, why put it off? Now, you definitely want to jump on board. We definitely welcome you. We're all about helping people. My heart is to help people, because Zig Ziglar said it best. When you help other people get what they want, you'll always have what you need. It's the law of reciprocity. Who can you serve at the highest level and make a difference in somebody's life? And then ask yourself this: what is it you do in your life extremely well with the least amount of effort? That'll give you an example of what your purpose is.
So another question I got is, a lot of people like to see, they're all visual. So it's one thing to sit up here and say, you got to have good credit and be financially stable by being disciplined. But how was that shown? How can you show somebody, you know what, hey man, take this paycheck that you're getting and literally put XYZ aside and be consistent with that. And then in 5 months, you know, you will see a profit, you will see a gain.
I
People want
love
to
it.
see, visual. So
I
help them
love
out
it.
with that.
I love it, man. Keep them coming. Within our company, we have what we give webinars every night around 8, where we break down examples like that on how you can make a certain amount of money you want to make. And we give you practical examples as well on the Zoom. We break it all down as well. And we also show testimonies of people who have gotten results as well too, and have shared their testimonies about how it helped them get their credit score of this amount of points. You have some people in the company who had 100 extra points increase, 60 extra points, 150. Everybody's situation is different. So we have those visuals to actually let people know that this really do work if you apply the principles. But with the money thing, we have the webinars where we break down both of them on how you can make a certain amount of money and what steps you need to go through as well. Visual proof, where you can see. We have them Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the webinars as well. Sundays is usually around 6 p.m. But through Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, it's 7 p.m. Central Time for people who Central Time. It breaks down everything, bro, like that. What money you want to make and what steps you have to take to get there. So I love it.
What was the hardest sacrifice you made to leave a 9 to 5 to go strictly independent to work for yourself?
What was the hardest sacrifice that I made? I say this because most people will love this one because I know people deal with this. The hardest sacrifice that I made was walking away from a TIP, what I call a temporary income provider, that was paying me pretty good a week. You know about that. Paying me pretty good a week, and to delay gratification for a short time in order to really invest into what it is I knew that I wanted. That was within my purpose. It was hard for me because sometimes when we build a relationship with something, we get comfortable with it. We can't see ourselves outside of it. And so we hold on to it with the fact of because longevity. But sometimes, can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, longevity has a downfall to it because you can have longevity with doing things wrong your whole life. It does not mean that it's right. And so I looked at my purpose and I looked at what I was really passionate about. Although I was making pretty decent money there, I began to dread every morning waking up because I knew that I was doing something that had nothing to do with my purpose. I was just doing it for the sake of a paycheck, but when my mind was not working and I was sleeping on my dreams. And many of you out there right now that's listening to me right now, you're in the same disposition. You have dreams to change the world. Dreams of owning your own business, being a speaker, owning a business, traveling the world, being a doctor, a lawyer, but you settling because it's gotten convenient with you, but you're hurting every day, waking up every morning, going to work a job, which I say just over broke, or I call it jumping out of bed. You dreading to get out of bed for a check, and you in fear of because if I don't have a job, that I won't be able to make it. Let me help you understand something. You are valuable, and that you don't need a job. The job needs you because without people, the job can't be what it needs to be. You need to find out what it is that you do extremely well with the least amount of effort and begin to work on that for free. Build that up first as well. Get your plan together. Get your vision out what it is you want. And begin to put away. Be disciplined. Have something put away to go to work for you. Because if you always do the same thing you always did, you always get what you always got. So you have to do something different. Sometimes it's like delaying gratification, stepping out on faith, doing things that's uncomfortable. I know I've done it. So I know what it is. But once you go through it, you'll find out it's the best decision in your life. Because the only thing that's stopping you from having a lifestyle that you really want indirectly is you. There are no limitations in life, ladies and gentlemen. The only limitation you have is that which you allow others to put on you or that which you put on yourself. Change your level of thinking about who you listen to, what you're watching, and what you're speaking out of your mouth, and you can change your life.
Yeah, that was real good there, man. Another question we got here is, do you have to pay to attend?
To attend the webinar?
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's free. We give them, you come, we show the opportunity, and then from the opportunity, we let the people decide how they want to go on with it. We just trying to expose people to the opportunity because many people are struggling with their credit and their money funny. And so we just want to expose it to everybody and let them see it and they make the decision. You don't have to pay anything not to attend that.
So what is there a fee for?
If you want to actually become a customer, there is a fee, because I have credit attorneys as well too that actually works. And do all the disputing and the lead work for you as well. It is a fee, as well as if you want to partner with the franchise and be a business partner like myself, and we train you to do what we do, and you have all your own credit franchise. There's a fee, but very affordable. I mean, very affordable. We ain't gonna spend you like that, but what you're getting and all that is amazing. it's simply amazing. So you'll be surprised.
Before we get out of here, what's the last thing that you want people to know, and the most important thing that you want people to know?
That I want people to know is this: is that whatever it is that you really want in your life, outside of traditional just working for somebody, you can actually do it. It's number one, how bad you want it, and what are you willing to sacrifice to do to get it. That's ethical and moral. I mean, you can do it. You can do it. It's not over until you quit. As long as you got breath and life in your body, it's still time. Don't let nobody box you in and tell you it's too late because of your age, your race, or your gender. That has nothing to do with that. In fact, some of the most successful people will tell you that there's a negative correlation between just school education and what people are saying about you. All you need is a drive and a heart, and you're coachable. We're looking for coachable and willing people to change their life who want something outside of the norm. So I want people to know that you can do it, and also that there's greatness on the inside of you, and that you owe it to yourself, and that I need the greatness on the inside of you to go to work, because you're the missing piece to the puzzle of the world.
If I'm fearful of something like this and getting involved with somebody that's going to teach me about my finances rather than to teach myself, how do I break that fear and just jump out the window and say, you know what, I'm going to go talk to Montell because, I like what the brother is saying, and I believe he can help me. How do I jump out that fear and say, you know what, I'm going to take the opportunity for, somebody to help me?
Good question. The same way when a person want to walk and go to the store, but they know in order to get to the store, they got to cross the street. And time is fearful of, dang, man, you very careful, because the fear of you could get hit by the car. But do we let that stop us? No, we still find ways to do it. Why? Because we understand that although we scared, if we don't still move while we scared, we'll never get to the store, because we have to cross that street to get there. Why do you think life is any different? I say do it with fear. Watch this. In fact, whenever something that's ethical and moral approaches one that's really beneficial, if fear is that prevalent, it just means you're supposed to do it, sir. Because why else would it be that prevalent if you didn't have the right mindset, or it wasn't the right nugget to actually change your life, or you didn't have the right arsenals to pull it off? So I say do it with fear, and then ask yourself this: have what you've been doing worked? Why not do something different? What you've been doing right now, has it worked for you? Typically, the answer is no. So why not? I mean, what do you got to lose? What you have to lose is the opportunity that can change your life. And you can't afford to do that, because, ladies and gentlemen, not doing anything is still doing something. And the only thing I think that's worse than a person who can't read, is a person who can and won't. So you got to ask yourself, what are you willing to fight for, work day and night for? What are you willing to do differently, even when fears oppose you? This ain't the first time that fears oppose you. Some of us like roller coaster rides. I've ridden so many times scared. Why? Because I used to be scared of heights. But I kept going because I was like, I can't live like this. To finally, I kept going and I broke out of it. I had to face it. In other words, it's time to face your fears. And it's time to get used to being comfortable or being uncomfortable, because there you'll find true success and freedom. You'll find all along that the thing you really want lies with you overcoming your fear. And I say this one last thing. It's one thing to understand that where I'm at in life, whether it's geographically or career or decisions I'm making, is not the right moves, which is why I'm not getting results. But watch this. How do I handle knowing that I'm doing all those right things and we still not getting results? But my problem that I'm having, there also lies the solution. What do I mean by that? For some people, it's not a geographical situation. You're having a problem there, but your solution is there too. It's a mindset shift situation. Is the problem. Some people jump ship too fast, not knowing that the whole time where you was at, the fish was there. Not here to preach. I'm here to just give an example to you. The disciples were fishing all day in that same spot. Jesus come along, friends. Have you caught anything? He said, no, we haven't. We've been fishing all day. Cast your net on the right side of the ship and you'll make the catch. What's significant about that? Number one, these disciples were professional fishermen. They had businesses. So if anything, I think they know what they're talking about. But here's a man coming along who appears to many people not much, tells them to cast their net on the right side of the ship. The problem is this, sir, is that they've been casting on that side all day. Now, because you come along and say do it, something will happen. I'm here to tell you something. Where your problem is, sometimes there is also your solution. Sometimes it's the right timing and the right instructions you need from the right person that can help you get the results. It's about who's giving you instructions and the timing that they're giving you that's going to make all the difference. Because many people have a lot of say-so, but really don't know what they're talking about. But the people who are really experts at what it is they're doing, you want to listen to them. Why duplicate it when you can actually, why reinvent the wheel when you actually duplicate success already? Success loves speed. So get around people who celebrate you, not tolerate you, or who believe in you.
That's a good word right there, man. I like that, man. Well, I'm going to lead this in prayer, man. We're going to get out of here, man. I appreciate you for stopping by. I appreciate you for coming in, giving the people game on what it means to be financially stable and how important it is to have that credit under control and what you can do to alleviate some of those problems that we create ourselves by taking our finances and just jumping out the window, going to buy materialistic things when we can actually take that money to invest in ourselves and be better human beings.
And let me say this real quick before you pray. You want to follow me on Facebook at Montell Carr, MONTYCARR, and on Instagram, Montell Speaks with an S, and then my LinkedIn, Montell Carr, MONTELLCARR. You definitely want to follow me on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have all that at the end of the video once it loads up. But for people that seen this live, they get it right here, live and direct, man. Okay. It's the only way to get it. Right. All right. God, thank you for allowing us to have another day. Thank you for allowing us to gather here today and sit here and give people messages and different ways to take their finances and to develop them. I ask that you just allow your will to be done over our lives and everyone that's been listening to this podcast, everyone that will hear it later. I thank everyone for coming out tonight, and I thank you for allowing this to happen. God, I just ask that you would just touch everybody's heart that's been listening to this podcast and is going to hear it later. I ask that you would just develop their finances and grow their finances, Lord. I ask that you would just strengthen their mindset and strengthen their heart, strengthen their bodies, take away any pain that they may be having, take away any depression and anxiety from them. I ask that you would just wipe away their sins, Lord. And I ask that you would just soften their hearts for the ones who don't know you, Lord. I ask that you would just give them access to you if they come to you and ask you in faith. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, man. Like I said, I appreciate you for coming by, man. And it was a nice conversation, man. That was a good talk. That was a real good talk, man. Yeah. And you come on anytime, man. Anytime you want to come back and give out some more game. Hey, I'm always available, man. I appreciate you, my brother.
You too.
All right.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace.